Well, thank you for inviting me to tell my story. And actually, I don't have enough time to tell you all the good things that have happened since I've changed my diet. But at the time, I was weighing about 190, 199. And I had been to Whole Foods shopping. And as I was approaching my front door, I had 2 bags of groceries filled with the grass-fed chicken and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to feel very bad. So I went in, went into my home, set the 2 bags down at my front door, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt my chest about right here, and I felt a pounding, a racing. And so I said, AFib. And I knew that I had to go to the emergency room. I was trying to decide if I should go to the emergency room or urgent care. I ended up at urgent care.
Mm-hmm.
I put my groceries away. And as soon as I got there and they set me on the table, I was in an ambulance on my way to the hospital, to the emergency room.
Right.
So that was the Saturday before Mother's Day. So I stayed in the hospital for 2 days. And when I left there, my liver enzymes were 672 and 543. They told me I had to go on beta blockers and blood thinners and a couple other medications, or otherwise I was going to have a stroke or a heart attack or a blood clot or something like that. Well, my granddaughter came and picked me up, and I went to Walgreens and told them to restock the medication because I wouldn't be taking it. So I knew that I had to take this seriously.
Yeah.
So I found a doctor in Wheaton, Illinois, who put me on a raw food plant-based diet. And I'm telling you, that was the beginning of my healing. And I learned about plant-based diet and doctors from attending that doctor's office. And in his waiting room, he would play forks over knives and eating 30 dishes. Well, I became very interested, and I came home and went on YouTube and went to Amazon and purchased all the books. And that was in May. In August, my husband became very ill. Well, he had been ill, actually. I became aware that he was very ill, and he had end-stage congestive heart failure. So I was reading Anderson's book, and it said no matter how old you were at the time, my husband was 86, plant-based diet would help. So I put him on a plant-based diet, and unbeknownst to my raw food doctor, I was eating the foods that I was preparing for my husband, and that started my journey. And I'm telling you, within a year, I had dropped 50 pounds, and I was not on the diet to lose weight. And this is the first time in my recent adult history that I've been able to keep weight off without going on a diet. And so that started my journey with plant-based diet. So I knew I had to leave the other doctor, and I went plant-based 100%. I visited Dr. John McDougall in 2019, and last year I visited Goldhammer Center, and also in California. I think the most important thing after you first get started is to not let yourself get hungry. On my way in to my home, I passed the chicken places and the Wendy's and all of those. And at the times that I'm hungry, I have actually a couple of times been tempted to stop because I love fried chicken.
Yes, yes.
And I said to myself, no, I'm going home and eat. And I always have something in the freezer that you can pull out, batch cooked. So
Yes.
I said no, and I feel so good with myself that I bypass that and go home and pull out something from my refrigerator or freezer. It might be something simple, but don't cave in. Stick with it and try not and get hungry as much as possible. Keep nuts and things in the car like that. That is, if you don't have a health condition that require you not to eat nuts and certain foods, like a heart condition. You can't eat too many nuts with that. But try not to cave in and have something at home. And even if it seems plain by comparison to one of the chicken shacks, don't do it. it's overwhelming, and it's going to be overwhelming, but stick with it. Now it's just as easy. It's my new normal. It's just as easy as the other. Matter of fact, it's more pleasurable. All the new foods I am cooking, all the new recipes I'm finding, it's just very pleasurable. And I feel better now today than I did when I was 40 years old.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Birthday coming up soon.
And on your birthday, you will be? Do you mind
80
sharing?
years old.
Oh my gosh.
80 years old. And by the way, I also visited Dr. Kim because when I left that hospital in 2017, my liver enzymes were 640, 672, and 543. I visited Dr. Kim Williams to find out where my heart was after I had been on the plant-based diet for a little bit over a year. And actually, I didn't have to go back. My numbers were so good, and I didn't have. And also, while I was there, I decided to check out my see where my liver was at Rush Presbyterian. My liver enzymes were 10 and 22 from 542 and 672.
Oh, wow. Okay, Vivian, people are asking the name of your doctor that you mentioned in Wheaton.
Dr. What's his
The
name?
doctor that you are seeing that put you on the raw
On
diet.
raw food diet. Let me think of his name. And let me think of his name. Dr. Nemec, Nemec, at the Total Health Institute.
At the Total Health Institute. I've heard of that.
Dr. Nemec, yes. That's the one I went to, and that started my healing. At the time, I was in rehab for my knees, and they told me I needed new knee surgery, and I had arthritis and torn meniscus and all of that. In 5 days, my knees didn't hurt. I canceled my rehab and started going to yoga classes, and my brain fog cleared. I have not had it since. So many things happened that were good. Matter of fact, a year ago, I went to the 2 years ago, I went to eye doctor. She told me I needed cataracts and they were progressing. Last year, I went for a checkup. She told me, "Oh, your cataracts are getting better. You don't need surgery."
Yes, I began this journey in about 4.5 years ago, October 2016.
2016. Okay.
And what prompted me to take this journey was for the previous 15 years, my cholesterol numbers were fluctuating very high, constantly over 200. Now, mind you, I'm in pretty good health. I stopped eating red meat and pork ever since I read Elijah Muhammad's How to Eat to Live back in 75. So I've been off red meat and pork for years. But around age 53, my cholesterol numbers began jumping.
Okay.
And they were consistently above 200, as high as 236 in 2003 and about 216 in 2014.
Okay.
And so I happened to go on a jazz cruise in October of 2016. And one of the options at the jazz cruise was a healthy food station. Now, I always resisted it. I stepped on the plant-based because I never felt it could fill me. I like to eat. I eat 5 times a day. And I never thought it could fill me. But on this cruise, they had the plant-based diet option here. By the spring of that year, my cholesterol had dropped 28 points. Has a reliable support system.
A support
that
system.
works for you.
That's important.
For me, it's faith, my family, friends, and facts. The 3 F's. You know, as far as faith, you know, in the Bible, it talks about your body as a temple.
Yes.
And I can say to myself, if the good Lord has given me this body, I just need to take care of it. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay. As far as my family and friends, I tell you, I have a coach, Jim, who keeps me on track, and her support system, Gail, my wife, and they tease me. They tease me, but they keep me going. I'm cutting out the sodium and the salt and the sugar. Still working on that.
Okay.
And then the facts. We just heard from Dr. Williams. I rely on data. I don't go with any of this, anecdotal stuff. And even now, you got to check your facts because of 45. So I rely on facts. So I say faith, family, friends, and facts as your support system. That works for me.
I want to share with anyone that's getting ready to start. It's so amazing to just journey into this lifestyle. After 1 week, I knew that it was like, I don't want to go back. I did read a lot of literature about the animals that I was taking in, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going back. I spent a lot of my lifetime eating those foods, and into my years of being 50, it was just like nothing was happening good. And I was like, it's got to be a change. Like, I know my daughter had told me a long time ago, like, Mom, you should change over. And I was like, I need some fried chicken here and there. And I'll eat a salad. I figure I was good, right? Then I'm a shopper part-time, and I start shopping for this customer by the name of Mary Ellen. And, when you drop off their groceries, you don't see them. It's no contact. But one day she popped her head out, and I go, you know what? You must be a vegan, a vegetarian or something. I'm shopping all these vegetables for you. And I'm like, I should start eating like this at my age. I've spent a lot of time eating everything wrong. It's time for me to change over and not go back. And she peeped her head out one day and thanked me. And we had a conversation, and it's history from there. She would always invite information for me. She told me to join the community. I love her to death. I see her every week. I have the opportunity to shop for her every Saturdays, bringing her these wonderful vegetables and whole foods that I shop for, and thought, I need to do this. So the week that I started, it was the day after I delivered to her, and I couldn't wait to tell her that next week, guess what? I started. So I had went a whole week and was like, I did a week, So then I would ask her questions like, when do I find out that I really nipped this? Like, how many weeks, how many months can I say I got this and not go back? So then, weeks go by, then the months go by, and I'm like, okay, I'm really doing this. I'm not going back. There's no way. I enjoy the foods. I enjoy the recipes, the resources that I get. So I'm not bored with just one thing. Love my salads, love a vegetable soup. But I wanted to learn to cook some different foods. And she always gave me different recipes. And she introduced me to Merle. And I saw one of her cooking shows and great. I was like, yes, I can do this. So I want to encourage and inspire anyone that's getting started like me. I'm 5 months in. It's an amazing journey. I'm never going back. I want to live forever. I want to see my grandchildren grow up and aspire to whatever they're going to do. So I'm excited. This is amazing. I mean, I'm almost speechless because I can't tell you enough how much this has brought to my life. Like, I'm so energetic. I mean, it's amazing. I'm like, the energy. I started falling short of my energy because I'm like, well, I'm in my 50s. This weight is going to be on me. I lost 27 pounds in a 4-month period, and I don't want to go back. So it's an amazing journey. The plant-based whole food. Oh my God. You guys, if you can do it, start. Give yourself a week. And then go from there and just say to yourself, I want to live. I want to live long. I want to eat healthy. I want to lose weight. I don't want to have all these whatever the issues that you might have, underlying health issues from eating animals. Just stop and say, I want to live. I want to be healthy. I want good nutrition in my life and good health. I say, do it. Start today and go forward. Yes. So my tip and encouragement would be to stop eating out. That would be number one. Start cooking at home, eating at home, and make you a little lunch bag for your road snacks. And then that way you don't have to stop at a restaurant. You just go in your little snack bag and get you an apple, banana, whatever you want to snack on, almonds, like you said, and go from there. Start one day at a time, but you'll have to give up. You just got to give up the fast foods and stay away from the restaurants and definitely stop the meats altogether. And then just go with it like that. I want to encourage everyone to start because, again, you could live so much longer. You're so much healthier. Your body feels better. There's so many benefits. Why not? It's just like, should I do it or should I not? Well, do you want to live or do you want to die? So my whole thing is, it's easy for me to say, I'm not going to eat those things anymore. I want to live. And that's the encouragement I want to give everyone. Start today. There's no time like the present. Get rid of all of the bad foods and start today. Make this your life change today.